What's going on, y'all? So, it's been a long time, but I'm finally back. As you can see right here on the screen, I'm doing a review for Smile, and it's an interesting movie. It is, but let me give you the synopsis. There, I'm gonna break down why. Let me see. Let me pull that up here. Okay, here we go. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. So, with that being said, this movie is, to give you a general idea of what this movie is, it's basically any chain link cursed movie that you ever seen. The Ring, It Follows, Truth or Dare. If you haven't seen, everybody's seen The Ring. Hopefully, if you haven't seen The Ring, go watch The Ring. But I hope everybody's seen The Ring, because The Ring is one of those. I want to say it's like a 1980s movie, but it's a early 2000s movie. And really, if you haven't seen It Follows or Truth or Dare, I would go watch those, because what I'm about to say is this movie is basically similar to those, and that it's a curse. What I mean by that is this movie is a curse. When I say curse chain link movie, I'm saying it's like a movie where you could get cursed by this entity or whatever it is, and basically you can pass it on to other people. It can be passed on to you, and you can pass it on to other people. Like it said in the synopsis, our protagonist of the movie is Dr. Rose Cotter. She's a psych therapist, and the movie shows you, what I'm going to say about her traumatic past is that, well, I shouldn't did the air quotes, because she do have a traumatic past, and but the predictability of it is, when you see the traumatic past, it makes it like, okay, I see what they trying to do, because her traumatic past is like, it makes sense why she's like a psych, therapist, why she works with people who's basically in a psych ward or in a facility like that. Yeah, but when we're introduced to her, I was surprised. I didn't know the dude from Harold and Kumar was in here. He played her boss. I think the Kumar, the Kumar guy, the Indian guy. He plays her boss. But yeah, we introduced to him, her, Rose, the dude who she got a fiance who's played by the guy from The Boys, the one that played the speedster in The Boys, and then her, which is ironic because her ex-boyfriend that we introduced to in the movie is the dude from Smallville who played the Flash of that universe, Impulse. But he's a very important character, the Impulse guy. We introduced to her sister, who both shares the traumatic past. Both of them share the traumatic past because it has something to do with their mom. But yeah, when we're introduced to Rose, basically she's at work. We introduced to her job and what she does, and which is a hit and miss. Was a hit. It was like a, well, I want to say a hit and miss. It was more like a missed opportunity because when we first meet her at her job, they convey it very quickly that she's a workaholic, but we only get to see it in basically that first scene because everything goes down not in that first scene, but in that whole entire scene of her at work. That's where we introduced to the problem of the movie. So in that case, it shows that she works with patients. We meet some of her patients that she works with. She's just basically an ordinary psych therapist. But it's one fateful call she gets that basically puts her on the collision course with this entity, and that's right when she was getting ready to leave work. She gets a fateful call. They bring in this girl who's having a nervous breakdown. You've seen this in the trailer. Not her getting the call part, but the girl that she has to talk to that's having a nervous breakdown part. This is shown in the trailer of the movie, and she basically she learns about the entity, but though at the time she doesn't believe it. And like in the middle of having a conversation with this girl, the girl starts freaking out. Basically saying something is here, but it's nothing. Rose doesn't see anything. It's nothing in the room. But and you later find out that's because only the person who's cursed can see the entity. And basically, whatever she was seeing, Rose couldn't see. And then once you get to that part of the movie when they show you what the girl, which you finally get to experience what that girl was seeing, you understand why Rose was weirded out or thought she was having some type of breakdown again, because you see what she sees, and Rose doesn't see it, but you know something's happening to her. Rose calls for help because she thinks the girl's having like a panic attack. Says she can't, because she was like she couldn't breathe anymore. So she was calling for help, but when she turns around, the girl is standing there, smiling at her. Picture for the thumbnail. I gotta do the thumbnail picture now. She's sitting there smiling like that at her, and she basically commits an act in front of Rose. And to tell you what this act is, because YouTube is sensitive about certain words, so I'm going to say it's like this: the act that she commits is the first name of a famous DC super anti-villain or anti-hero squad controlled by Amanda Waller, called the You Know What Squad. And it's that word, it's that S word right there. And that's what she does in front of Rose. She commit that act in front of Rose. And that's an important thing because that's what you find out is the common thread in all these cases. But that's how Rose gets cursed, and thus your movie goes forward. Because of that, that's how we get to explore Rose's traumatic past between her and her sister, while her and her sister don't have a good relationship. What happened between her and her ex-boyfriend, how what's going on strains her relationship with her sister and her fiance. Well, it strains her relationship with her sister even more, and starts to strain her relationship with her fiance. Through her ex-boyfriend, the dude from Smallville, who played the Flash in that universe, we find out that there's multiple cases going back years and decades, and that basically there's always going to be one person who survived, and he tells Rose that the way how he survived is because You have to commit. Because it makes you. If it makes you commit the act in front of somebody, that's it for you, because you're committing the act. But if you commit a different type of act that's the same as that act, well, not the same, because that act is you doing it to yourself, or it making it do it to yourself. You have to commit an act in front of somebody with a third person. So it's like you, a person, and another person, but you committing, or whatever, or however you want to do it, an act on somebody else in front of another person, and thus you could pass it on that way too. And that's how the one guy survived being cursed, because he passed it on by, or somebody in front of, in this case it was the neighbor's, his neighbor's wife. He passed the curse on to the neighbor's wife by doing the act to the neighbor's wife's husband, and thus that's our movie. The movie is very. I would say my negatives for the movie is that it tries to be unique, but it kind of fails at it being unique on that front. But yeah, it kind of fails being unique on that front. Man, because it takes a concept, like it follows. It tried to be like it follows, because it follows it took an old concept but made itself unique, where it stood out to the point where I was like, man, even though this is an old concept, this is a good movie. But that's what this movie tried to do, and it kind of fails at it. So yeah, it fails at trying to be unique. The movie is very predictable, and my third negative is that it's rushed, because you really don't get enough time with the protagonist enough to care about the situation. And what mainly gets you just want to see how it unfolds. How she's going to defeat the curse, or if she will defeat the curse. And the movie has a typical ending that pretty much is like, I figured that was going to come, because this is how these movies usually end. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, bigger, just because it wasn't all that good. I would tell you this: the trailers made me think it was going to be like a 7 or 8. You know what? I wouldn't even say 8, just a 7. It made me think it was going to be at least a 7, but it just ended up being a 5, just because it was like, it was very predictable. Oh, this is that, and I found myself not more interested just to seeing who was able to survive the curse, and if she was going to survive it or not. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, if you saw the movie without spoiling it, and if you enjoyed this review, then you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my movie reviews, or reviews for anything. Actually, it's just reviews for TV shows and movies. And if you enjoy the video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons, guys, and because it helps the YouTube algorithm getting me out there to the masses, so I can make more tribe members. And as always, hit any one of these videos or video for more of my amazing content. Don't go anywhere. I got more. Peace.